What's up, tribe? This is gonna be your Love and Hip Hop review, season 5, episode 6. So here, look, a couple of these stories I'm just gonna go ahead and run through so we can get to some other stuff because this was a lot of catching people up on the stories that we already saw. So let's start off. We have K. Michelle and Moniece. K. Michelle is consulting with the doctor, talking about her implants and how she wants to get them out, and she explains how it happened and when she had it done and what types of what they call it, saline. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That was injected into her body, and the doctor said it was like injecting motor oil into her body, and that it seeped into her system. And he said that he's not going to be able to get it all out because some of it has seeped out, but he'll get as much as he can. And then he said with the minimal amount of what do you say, deformity. I was like, oh my God. Like she might permanently be deformed behind this. And the one thing, a lot of people were like, why did she come back? Why did she come back? Why is she doing this season? Why is K. Michelle on the show? I honestly think that K. Michelle is on this show so people can see what happened to her. And she can maybe let people know what not to do, and that she said it's just not worth it. What I'm doing to my body, what I did to my body, is just not worth it. And for what? And the one thing she said was that she hopes that what women get is that imperfection is perfection sometime. And so I really do. Like, I know K. Michelle got some drama with her and she got some shit with her, but I really think that part of her reason for being on the show is to chronicle her situation. And I know she had her own show at one point, so I can't speak to why she didn't do it on that show. But I do think that's part of it. That's just my opinion. And then we see her actually have the surgery and see it being taken out, and she's talking about how Moniece is one of the only people that's really been by her side. Because after her and Paris made up, I haven't seen any more scenes with the two of them together. And then she was talking about how some of the people who she took care of, she paid their bills, she made them famous, how they were not there, didn't visit her in the hospital, never came to see her, none of that. And I know very publicly her and Jonathan fell out very publicly, and that was one of the things that she said, that she was in the hospital, he never came to visit her, he ain't called to check on her. When she called him, he was too busy to talk to her. And so I feel like that's one of the people she's talking about. I don't think that's the only person, but that's one of the people she is talking about. And Jonathan, he's on Love and Hip Hop New York now. I don't know if he's coming back for this season, but New York will be starting up as soon as this is over. So we'll see if if he is on this season, his side of the story or what he has to share. So that's that storyline, and that's pretty much K. Michelle this episode and Moniece. Then we got crazy ass Brooke. I'm gonna go on and run through Brooke too. Crazy ass Brooke. She done brought Bridget in on this plan that she has, and she gonna have this special night for her and Marcus, and she's got all these things coming through. What it looks like she's doing is planning a wedding. She trying to fly in Marcus's mama. She looking for dresses, and she done brought Bridget in on it to help her set this whole thing up. Now on the flip side, Marcus is like, he talking to A1, and he's like, I think I'm gonna go ahead and take her back and make a commitment to her. But in his mind, I think commitment means I'm going to go ahead and let her keep the ring, and it really mean that we engaged. I don't think he talking about getting married. But A1 was like, bruh, she crazy. And he was like, but I like her kind of crazy. So the two of them, he know what he getting into. He know that she 100% crazy. And Bridget said the same thing. Bridget was like, I done really got to know Brooke this year. And Brooke is batshit crazy. And she is. Brooke crazy as hell, but she knows she crazy, and everybody around her knows she crazy, and they like the crazy. What can you say? So that's what that looks like. That this whole episode, when they showed her a couple of times, looked like she's planning her big night is a wedding. Marcus's big night mean that he thinks she finally gonna give him some, and then they can really be officially be back together. Yeah, she gonna give you something, all right. Another little side storyline. We got Rockstar meeting up with Amber Diamond. Now, Amber Diamond said that she was one of Cisco's girlfriends on the show. Now, here's what's funny. I forgot who the fuck Cisco was. I was like, Cisco. And then I had to remember who Cisco was. And then I was like, I still don't really remember her. Like, is she the chick that he was messing with last season while he was cheating on Tierra? Or is she somebody from New York? Like, I don't even know who this chick is. But she's saying that, that's how people would know her because she was with Cisco and that she wants to get into the music industry. And so she's hooking up with Rockstar. She met him at the showcase and they exchanged information. So, of course, Rockstar ignorant ass talking about, I'll go ahead and meet up with her, but I'm really just trying to, hit it from the back. I ain't really trying to make no hits or nothing. And so she shows up talking that yang, I want to be a singer and blah, blah, blah. And of course, he pretending like he give a fuck, which he really don't. And then her mother come rolling in there. Now, they look like twins to me. Like, Honey Black just don't crack. They look like twins. But his was some ignorant shit. She coming there talking about something. I just want to make sure he's serious. And I'm her manager. And I'm making things happen for her. And how much you going to charge to get her in the studio? So he was like, it's going to be about $100,000. Thinking it'll be too much. They'll walk away. Whatever. Her mama pulls out $20,000 out of her motherfucking purse in cash. Who the fuck does that? That's some ghetto, hood, drug dealing. That's some shit. You in the middle of a public restaurant pulling bands out your goddamn purse talking about something. So that's 20. Is that enough? He was like, enough for a single? She was like, enough for an EP. He said, an EP? He said, an EP? That's like 7 songs. He said, this is enough to get her in the studio to drop a single. So they negotiated on $40,000 for a single. She said, I give you 20 now. I give you 20 when I hear this, what the song sound like, and then we'll take it from there. He was like, shit, all right, $20,000 that's easy. That's cool. I can do that. They get into the studio, and this bitch cannot sing. Like, she sound horrible. Now, I don't know if she sound horrible on purpose or horrible on accident, but she sounds horrible, right? He talking about, he's over there talking about how I go from J-Lo to this. I don't know how I got here. Like, he's like, this, she sound horrible. He was like, I'm going to have to put some sauce on this because he talking about something, I'm going to have to auto-tune and all this other stuff and a prayer. It was horrible. And then she comes out the booth and she starts talking about, but he was like, but $20,000. That's all I got to remember. $20,000. Just $20,000, right? So she's talking about how her mom just be doing too much and how extra her mom is and, just all of this stuff, right? And he's sitting there like, like, whatever. I don't care. I don't really care. I don't care. I don't really care. I don't care. I don't really care. But they end up doing the single or whatever. And he's like, she said, you got to play it for my mother because she already planning my release party. But this what I am going to say. Now, he said that because of the type of producer that he is, he can make anything happen. Cool. And, we know it's a whole lot of people out here who can't sing and they got hit records. I ain't going to go down that road, but we know it to be the truth. But when they was getting ready to go into commercial, guess who got a single? Amber Diamond. So I was like, y'all going to sit here and show us how much she can't sing, but then drop a single. Okay. I ain't even mad at your hustle, Amber. I ain't mad at your hustle at all. You got on the show. You got a little bit of exposure. And you got a single. Now, I don't know who went to go buy it, but it's on iTunes. Y'all can check it out. It's out there. All right. Apple Watch. We see Apple Watch this episode. I'm gonna come back to something else with Apple Watch, but let's just focus for a moment. Her little bit of a storyline this episode was that she is reconnected with her father. It sounds like her father, classic story. Father left the mama either before she was born or after she was born, never to be heard from again. In the interim, it seems like Apple's mom ran into some hood shit, because she said my mother got caught up. So I don't know if that's drugs. I don't know if she went to jail. Like, I'm not sure what the caught up is. I'm going to say drugs. That is totally a guess on my part. But neither here nor there, she went into foster care. And she basically was raised in foster care, raised herself, that kind of thing. And she actually sought her father out. He still didn't come looking for her. And so she's dealing with she's dealing with that. I want to get to know my father, but I really don't trust him. But I really need to understand why he wasn't there for me. Because Daddy then went out and had 4 more kids and took care of them. And he said, if I had known you were in foster care, I would have came and got you. She said, but you left us. You never looked for me. She was like, had you come and looked for me, you would have known where I was. But you left us and you never came back. Yet you raised your other 4 kids. And she's really processing that. And what the father said was, he said, you know what? I'm willing to pay for counseling, for us to go to counseling so that hopefully maybe we can build a relationship. So I thought that was, I don't know where that's going to go from here, but I thought that was really, at the end of the day, he can't erase what he did. Like, he made some bad decisions. He knew he had a child out there that he did not care for, did not seek out, but there's nothing he can do about that now. All you can do is try to fix it, build a new relationship, be a grandfather to her kids, and hopefully they can process and he can forgive her. I'm sure that in her mind, whatever horrible things or negative things that she went through in foster care, in her mind, she blames him for all of that. Because it's like, well, if he had just come and got us or was a father to me, that would have never happened to me. So they have a lot. They might need to go on Ayanla. I think Ayanla might be able to help them fix their life. I don't know. What you think? Anyway, so there's that. So I think that's pretty much all of the auxiliary storylines. So let's get to the main storyline this episode. So the main storyline we're dealing with this episode is we have A1 and Lyrica, right? Last week they had the big melee down to the showcase. When Apple Watch and Lyrica, they hooked up, they doing the little, Apple Watch is teaching Lyrica how to strip. And that's a good workout. I've heard, the pole dancing classes and all that, that's a good workout. So they working out / learning how to strip type thing. And they're talking or whatever. And, Apple was like, so what was all that about last week with you and La Brittany? Like, what was that about? And Lyrica was like, she just came at me wrong. Like, she was doing the most. She said, me and A1, we got each other's DM information. Instagram information. So I was on his Instagram and I saw her all in the DMs. So this wasn't just about La Brittany up on the stage dancing all crazy or whatever. She's like, she's really trying to shoot her shot. She said, both of them want to work with A1. He is a hot producer right now. The difference is Apple came to me. She apologized for, the way we met initially, things not really going well the way we met initially, and asked if it was cool for us to work together. And me and her are actually cool. She said, but the thing with La Brittany is she really coming at my man sideways, and I got a problem with that. So then she was like, well, what's up with you and Rockstar? And Lyrica said, me and Rockstar were friends. And when I hooked up with A1, I really cut a lot of people off. And he's one of those people that I sort of stopped being around. And I just think that that's something that he's just held on to all these years. Okay. But Lyrica said, I really love my husband. I really want us to work this out. Like, after seeing him the other night, like, I just, I missed him. I want him to come home. A1 talking to Marcus saying the same thing. Like, look, I really miss my wife. Seeing her defend me last week with Rockstar really made me, appreciate where we are and all of that stuff. And, I really want to try to see if we can work this out. So they finally, hook up. He was ignoring her text messages, but they finally hook up and they sit down and they talk it all out. And Lyrica said, I just want to say to you, once and for all, look me dead in my face. I'm going to look you dead in your eye and tell you nothing happened between me and Safari. We never had sex. We never did anything inappropriate. And A1 was like, I really appreciate that. And and in his confessional, he was like, now, had she came at me like that from the beginning, we would have never had no problem. He was like, I started basically questioning her because of the way she was acting, which I think we all did. You know what I'm saying? We all felt like, but let's not forget, Safari said something happened. So we'll see how that, I think we ain't done with the Safari Lyrica storyline. But They cleared the air. They apologized. She said, the way we argue, she said, we ain't never been disrespectful like that before. We ain't never came at each other like that. And that's just not us. And he was saying, he agreed. He said the same thing. And she said, I want you to come home. And he starts smiling. So, they cool. They worked it out. So then she says, well, I figured out why I've been acting so crazy lately. He was like, what's up? She shows him a pregnancy test. She was like, I'm pregnant. Oh, so he's all smiling and happy. He was like, oh man, so you haven't told anybody? She said, no, I haven't told anybody. You're the first person I'm letting know. He was like, so you haven't told your mom? And she was like, no. He said, well, how are we going to handle that? And they looking at each other like, shh, I don't even know. So they decide that they're going to have dinner and invite everybody to the dinner to tell them that Lyrica's pregnant. So they get there and it's Lyrica's brother and... Oh, I did forget one more storyline. All right, I'll get to that. I'll finish this. I'll finish this. It's Lyrica and A1 get there, and it's A1's mother, brother, and sister-in-law are there first. And they see Lyrica, and the first thing out the brother's mouth is, what's she doing here? A1 was like, what do you mean what's she doing here? This is my wife. Well, you told us you was getting a divorce. He was like, okay, I did. They were like, so here was mother. Well, is this a divorce party? Are we here to sign some divorce papers? Is that what this is about? And Lyrica's just laughing. She's like, what? Oh my gosh, whatever. And he's like, no. He said, look, she's my wife. We talked. We worked things out. We're together now. And we called all of y'all here because we need to talk to y'all about something. Well, y'all know. They got to arguing. The sister-in-law, she got involved with her blue head talking about some, well, she called me and told me this. She called me and told me that. And she said this and she said that. And A1 was like, yeah, everything she said is true because we wasn't getting along at the time. Like, he wasn't about to sit there and be like, you said this, Lyrica, you said that. Because he know what the fuck he said too. So... Lyrica was like, yeah, I did call my sister-in-law and tell my sister-in-law all of this stuff, but I didn't think she was going to throw it back in my face like this. Like, what's that about? So, here come Lyrica mama. So, Big Mama come in while they in the midst of arguing. And, of course, y'all know she like, what is this? What's going on here? I know y'all not talking to my daughter crazy. And so, y'all know what happened. They got to fighting and throwing stuff. And Lyrica talking about something, don't call my mother a bitch because the sister-in-law was the one that really got it started. She got to yelling at Lyrica mother and cussing. And she threw shit at Lyrica mother. So, of course, they throwing it back. Lyrica asked and picked up a fucking chair. Now, y'all know she wasn't really about to throw it. But she threw up a chair. She picked up a chair like she was going to launch that thing across the daggone table. The floor. Y'all know security got involved and broke it up. But that scene continues in next week's episode. So we'll see how that ends up. The other storyline, the last storyline, I forgot about this one, y'all. Akbar, Tierra Marie, Paris, and Nikki Baby. So Paris is still on prowl trying to figure out what the hell. She was like, she was like, the only thing we were able to figure out is that we confirmed that Akbar is married. Like, we believe that he's married, but that Tierra is either in on it or she don't know she in on it. And come to find out, Brooke knows Akbar. So there was a scene where they were all at the hair salon. Paris came through there. And Brooke was like, I know Akbar. She was like, and when I saw Akbar, he wasn't with, he was with another chick. And Paris was like, well, was he with her? Showed him a picture of the wife. And she was like, nah, he was with some light-skinned chick. Like, I don't know who that is, but he was with somebody totally different. And she had on, his gear from his gym. And I believe she works at his gym. So, Paris, she went on a mission. She went down there to meet up with the chick. And she had Nikki Baby meet her down there. Come to find out, yes, she is messing with Akbar. Yes, she knows Akbar is married, and they have an arrangement, and they're cool with it. And she was like, she said, Tierra know what's up. Tierra be driving the car too. Like, Tierra is a part of our little clique. And Paris was like, does Tierra know she a part of the clique? Does she know she a part of this? So, basically what it sounds like is that Akbar, that he got some sister wives shit going on, and Tierra is either already a part of it or she about to be the next piece, right? So that was this episode, y'all. We're gonna see what happened next week. Look like next week we got some shit coming down the pike, y'all. So we'll see how that goes next week.